Last time on What If Toribot Joined the Z Fighters, we covered the preliminaries of the 23rd tournament because the roster was really stacked. Toribot beat Manwolf, Chaozu beat Girin, Shen beat King Choppa, Krillin beat Nam, Goku beat Chi-Chi, Hero beat Pomput, Tien beat Yajirobe, and then Piccolo beat Yamcha. But also, while Roshi was protecting the Pilaf castle, he got jumped by Tao and Appa, who got turned into an android and a cyborg, respectively. After beating Roshi, they put him on nitrous and took them back to their base. If you don't understand, they're under Jiro's control. We're now going to resume with the actual 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai itself. The first match of the quarterfinals will be Toribot versus Chaozu. They've sparred together before, but with Toribot not being incredibly stronger than him, and with Chaozu having grown to refine his psychic abilities, it still proves to be effective on him. Furthermore, Chaozu has actually learned basic addition and subtraction. And even more than that, he knows multiplication and division too. Dear Kami, he's at a 4th grade math level. Hero sneezes at this sentence for some reason. When Toribot gets trapped in Chaozu's psychic hold, Toribot throws out some kind of Pythagoras theorem bullshit. Except it's so nonsensical that Chaozu doesn't even acknowledge it. Toribot tries geometry on him too, but without any visual examples that's kind of hard to do. So, instead, switching to his last resort, he asks Chaozu about the meaning of life. Chaozu ponders that for a moment, leaving him open. He's about to explain how there is no true meaning to life, and that you have to find your own. And that could be learning and strengthening yourself as a martial artist, or maybe making movies, or maybe being a regular artist, or maybe writing books, or maybe scamming children with cryptocurrency schemes, or putting mold in your food, or really anything you want. In fact, Toribot is 2 of those things. He's an artist and a martial artist. But by the time Chaozu finishes his speech, Toribot kicks him in the side of the neck, knocking him out of bounds. And, Chaozu does have a point, but it's maybe not something to get so caught up on when you're in the middle of a fight. So Toribot will be advancing to the semifinals. Match 2 of the quarterfinals is Shen versus Krillin. These two have also sparred together, but not that frequently. Shen definitely has the advantage in terms of technical prowess with the Crane School moves he has, but Krillin has the superior strength and speed. I feel like Krillin is just outright too fast to be caught. Shen can't land any attacks on him, and when he does, it's only on Krillin's afterimages. The battle ends when Krillin stops, charging up a Kamehameha beam. Shen puts his hands together in a triangular shape. They both fire their attacks, and both land successfully. If you remember what Goku and Tien did in their beam clash in Part 3, you get what I'm saying. Shen gets sent out of bounds, landing in the grass, but Krillin is just barely able to withstand the tri-beam and stay standing, winning him the match. Match 3 of the quarterfinals is Goku vs. Hero. As I pointed out last part, Goku is the strongest here other than Piccolo. Hero is significantly weaker than him, and he does know that it's very disadvantageous to have to fight Goku. No matter what's going to happen, someone will come out weaker. But then he thinks back to what he saw up on the lookout, how Toribot had the ability to give people healing potions with that divine pencil of his. And thus Kami gets an idea. He's noticed how Goku always gets stronger after being beaten up. He doesn't particularly understand why, but if that's how things are, then maybe. Just as the match begins, Hero rushes Goku, going all out straight from the start. Goku puts his arms up to protect himself, but still gets hit with vicious punches all over. Goku swiftly lowers his arms, nearly getting hit with more punches, but using his superior speed, he's able to deflect them to jab Hero in the throat. He's stunned for a moment, with Goku taking that opportunity to lay into him with punches to the chest. Hero starts falling onto his back, but it's just a trick. He puts both his arms together, sweeping Goku's leg, knocking him down too. But this time, as an adult, Goku's tail isn't long or strong enough to fully push him back up, just barely springing him up so he won't hurt his head. Hero covers his head with his arms, and at this point realizes that his idea wasn't really that good. So, to distract Goku, he starts using telepathy on him. Kami tells Goku to stop attacking, and Goku knows this voice is a lot different from Hero's, especially since Hero's mouth isn't open. But he doesn't recognize the voice. He and Kami have never met in this scenario. Kami explains to Goku via telepathy who he is. He's the guardian of Earth and saw everything that has ever happened. He also sees how Goku gets stronger when he gets beaten up. Essentially, Kami wants Goku to get healed by Toribot after the battle. Goku understands the motivation behind this, but he doesn't agree with Kami's method. He wants to beat Piccolo with his own strength, especially since Piccolo's vendetta should only be against Toribot, right? And Kami doesn't really have a choice in the matter, so if Goku doesn't want to get himself beaten up, he's not gonna get beaten up. The fight gets reset after that. They go head to head again, but Goku clearly has the advantage and is able to knock Hero out of the ring with moderate difficulty. The winner of the match is Son Goku. The final match of the quarterfinals is Tien vs. Ma Jr. I like Tien, but I'm sad to have to do this to him. Even then, I think having this match does more to exhibit just how strong Piccolo is in this timeline. The Dragon team are essentially enhancement talent for him. As soon as the battle starts, Tien uses the Four Witches technique, as well as the multi-form. His plan here is to jump Piccolo single-handedly, but Piccolo is able to deal with all the Tiens easily. They start floating up one by one, surrounding Piccolo and firing out tri-beams. Caught off guard, Piccolo gets hit by all four of them, but since the power is split, it only hurts as much as one tri-beam. One tri-beam is still effective to Piccolo to a certain extent though, so he comes out of the attack slightly damaged. His clothes would be burnt, but Piccolo himself is angered by this. He stops holding back, flying at the Tiens and massacring them. He beats them so hard that they disappear back into Tien's body, transferring back their power but also their damage. And with Tien already beaten down, Piccolo picks him up and spins him around, tossing him out of bounds and into a wall. Piccolo has won the match. Just like in the 22nd tournament, the Dragon team members who are backstage go on to try and intimidate Piccolo. However, the act has no effect on him. Considering their strongest fighter is still weaker than him, why should he care? Instead of cowering at their statement, he tells Toribot that he'll be waiting for him in the finals. The first match of the semifinals is Toribot vs. Krillin. When Piccolo said he'd see Toribot in the finals, while Piccolo definitely can't confirm that for himself, for Toribot he can. That's not to write Krillin off either, though. His training under the combined Turtle and Crane school styles has paid off a lot, to the point where he knows their techniques too. He's more proficient in Turtle school techniques and he prefers them, but if need be, yeah, he'll use Crane school techniques. With Toribot being significantly faster than him, he kind of has to. Specifically, Krillin engages in the multiform technique, just like Tien, but instead of making 3 clones, he only makes 1. He has a pretty simple plan on beating Toribot. The clone goes in to fight Toribot, trying to restrain him, and with his greater size, succeeding. Oh yeah, that's kinda weird. Everybody else has grown up, but Toribot's still short. He's slightly taller than their kid selves, but now they all dwarf him. Toribot gets put into a bear hug by the clone Krillin, facing down the real Krillin charging a Kamehameha wave. He unleashes the attack, desummoning the clone of himself just before it can hit Toribot and him. But Krillin mistimed it. Toribot has just a little bit of time to evade the attack by jumping over. Krillin, thinking quick, pivots the beam upward, successfully striking Toribot. With Krillin having more training experience here, he's able to better control his ki and use it to maneuver the Kamehameha. Toribot drops to the ground after being hit by the beam, so close to being out of bounds. Krillin rushes him, but Toribot is just barely able to drop his leg, getting Krillin to be closer to being out of bounds than him. Toribot pushes Krillin out before he can even react, barely winning him the match. Quite honestly, that's an annoying tactic, but if Piccolo really does prove to be a threat, it's better to have as many people ready to fight him as possible. The last match of the semifinals is Goku vs. Piccolo. For a little bit, this fight goes how it does in canon, but even more dominant on Piccolo's side. He's been training himself for years to get revenge on his father's behalf, and he's not gonna let Goku or anyone else get in the way, no matter what. But at the same time, Goku still uses his greater experience to pull through as long as he can. He hits Piccolo with the Meteor combination, a new combo he developed while training alone. While he does know the Crane School techniques to an extent, he won't be using them due to their adverse or unhelpful effects. The Tri-Beam drains his life force, so he's not a fan. The Dodonpa is quick and precise, but Piccolo is faster than him and it would be hard to land. The Psychic Lock would work, but Goku doesn't think that's fair. The only stuff Goku doesn't really know about is the pressure point stuff, because Piccolo is a different species. If he gets his attack wrong, he might kill him. That's Goku's mindset anyway. I guess it's not impossible, but that would be lame if it happened. Goku figures his only option is to use his most developed technique. He fires out a Kamehameha, which quickly gets countered by Piccolo's mouth beam. They go head to head, but ultimately Piccolo has the greater power, pushing through to send Goku out of bounds. But that's when Goku pulls out another strategy. He uses the forbidden technique, the Feet Kamehameha. It sends him back into the ring, but Piccolo stretches his arm out, grabbing Goku, firmly planting his head into the grass. Shockingly enough, Piccolo has defeated Goku, his strongest active opposition. Before the final match, there's a 10-minute break for Piccolo's sake. This is standard procedure, but it gives everybody time to strategize. They don't know how Toribot will be able to beat Piccolo without Ki, but if things go too far, they've got his back. They just have to hope he won't need them. Meanwhile, Piccolo regenerates himself and uses the rest of his time to recover some stamina. Right now, he feels like he just went on a brisk walk, and quite honestly, he's underwhelmed by his foes. No matter, though. He wasn't coming here for a challenge, he was coming here for revenge. After the 10 minutes is up, Toribot and Piccolo both walk out onto the stage. The announcer calls them both out. Contestant number 1, Toribot, is up against contestant number 8, Ma Jr. They were on completely opposite sides of the tournament brackets. It feels like it was destined to be. I also feel that this is somewhat meta since Piccolo was Toriyama's favorite character. Both fighters take their stances, but Toribot isn't in the right mindset for this battle. Truth be told, even with his strength, he's always had that ball of anxiety inside his motherboard. He's been the strongest before, but his opponents have always found ways to counter him for the most part. And now, he's not even the strongest anymore. Piccolo is. And Goku's second. And Goku's defeat wasn't even that hard. So, without any key techniques, Toribot genuinely has no idea what he's going to do. Piccolo can see from Toribot's trepidation to attack that he's likely afraid. This makes him all the happier. He stretches his arm out, grabbing Toribot by the gi. With the robot in his grasp, Piccolo brings his head down on his knee repeatedly, denting his forehead. When he's done, he tosses Toribot down onto his back, stomping him in the sides. After a while, he starts denting there, too. Toribot is able to grab Piccolo's ankle once, trying to stop him. Piccolo just fires a mouth beam at him. He kicks Toribot over onto his front after that, but Toribot rolls away. Toribot knows now that after the beating he's taken, he needs to at least try and fight back. Being hit on the head is very dangerous for him considering his motherboard is in there, so he needs to keep that intact. Toribot propels himself forward, running all around Piccolo. Even if it takes every ounce of power left in this battery, he will defeat that demon without exploding himself, hopefully. So he's bringing it back. A technique that hasn't been used in quite a while. The Tori Tornado. The attack buffets Piccolo, but it's not super strong. That's exactly why Toribot keeps rushing in through the tornado to land more blows on Piccolo. By the time the tornado dissipates, he must have been hit, maybe a couple dozen times? However, Piccolo is still largely unfazed. Toribot comes around from behind, leaping onto Piccolo's back. He climbs up his cape, being able to get his arms around Piccolo's neck. Toribot starts choking him out, just trying to end the battle before it goes too far. But Piccolo won't let it happen. Not a chance in hell. Not after he killed all his siblings, and not after he killed his father. Piccolo reaches his arm onto his back, blasting Toribot and grabbing him by his gi. He flings Toribot into the air, unhinging his jaw to fire a mouth beam at him. But that gives Toribot an idea. That technique that Nam used against Krillin. Yes, the diving cross attack. He puts his arms into a cross shape, cutting through the beam as he comes down, crashing into Piccolo's face, arms first. Toribot doesn't let up there, taking advantage of the attack's effect to hit Piccolo all over the body. He wraps the cape around him, restricting his arms. Toribot rushes around again, unleashing yet another Tori Tornado. He keeps attacking, hitting Piccolo with dozens of punches as he's restrained. Piccolo fires back with an eye laser, which Toribot cartwheels over, getting out of his vision, pushing himself off the ground with his hands to kick Piccolo in the back. Piccolo falls onto his front. Toribot puts his foot down on Piccolo. The referee starts counting to 10 since Piccolo isn't getting back up. 1, 2... His cape starts to stretch. 3, 4... Piccolo's body, it's swelling up. 5, 6... The cape breaks, with Piccolo having become twice the size. He gets up, causing the count to stop, but he's still getting bigger. What the hell? He's giant. Like 20 Toribots tall. His power doesn't go up, but his size certainly does. Piccolo takes off his massive turban, throwing it down at Toribot. Toribot is able to climb on top of it, using it as a springboard to launch up at Piccolo, but he gets swatted back down like a fly. Piccolo then fires out I-beams as he does so, causing the arena to go up in smoke. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. He waits for the smoke to clear up, already believing himself to be the winner. But when it does, it's because Toribot's rushed all the smoke away with his Tori tornadoes. Yes, not one, but multiple. He runs around the destroyed arena, pooling them all together in one. The Tori Hurricane. It's much bigger than any of the tornadoes, and he allows the attack to envelop him. It launches him towards Piccolo, but that's exactly what he wanted. He lands inside Piccolo's jaw. Now hold on, this isn't weird because Goku did something like this in canon. Toribot attacks Piccolo's teeth, causing him some notable pain, but he figures this is the easiest way to get it over with. He closes his mouth, swallowing Toribot. But he feels something strange. It's like he's being attacked from the inside. Because he is. He starts to shrink to try and crush Toribot. By the time Piccolo is normal size again, well, have you ever seen the chestburster from Alien? Yeah, that happens. He does that to Piccolo. Toribot rips himself out of Piccolo's body with his claws. Toribot crawls out, getting to his feet. He doesn't attack Piccolo any further, instead letting the referee do the 10 count. Piccolo does not get up. He's not dead, but he's very injured, and he's concentrating on healing himself. His heart and brain were not affected, and it would take a ton of energy, but he's able to regenerate after about 20 seconds, including that 10 count. Truth be told, he didn't care that much about the tournament because he just wanted revenge. It would have been nice if he got to humiliate Toribot too, maybe even publicly execute him, but he can still do that, just not for the tournament. And now, with it concluded, there's nothing prohibiting the Dragon Team from just jumping him, so for now, Piccolo decides he'll make his escape. So while Toribot is declared the winner again, Piccolo flies away. On one hand, Toribot wants to go after him, to see if he can maybe talk to him or something. On the other hand, Piccolo has been alive for several years without attacking anyone as far as they know, so he doesn't necessarily need to go after him. He's probably seeking revenge against Toribot before he does anything more serious in the first place. Anyway, who cares about your personal issues when you have money? Well, Toribot's pretty rich as is, so this is really just a big bonus. Toribot gets his briefcase full of cash backstage. But you know what? Piccolo left. Who's gonna get that runner-up money? Well, Toribot would be glad to get some more, but at that point Krillin and Yamcha push Nam into the room, explaining his situation to the Tenkaichi officials. Nam did get his ass beat, but at the same time, he's a good guy, and Toribot did kinda steal one of his techniques, so you know what? Sure, they give it to him. And with that virtuous act, I leave you off for now. If you can ever find a way to help someone out in need, please do so. Thank you, goodbye, take care. Don't let Cody Rhodes steal your food. Bye.